Now, you're a leader. And as a leader, there's 8 key areas that you have to become very good at. And this year, in a moment, I'm going to teach you how to build a winning team. But there's 8 key areas. As a leader, you have to be an excellent communicator. Could you imagine a leader who's a poor communicator? You can, can't you? You've worked with them. And you probably left that business. Or maybe right now you're thinking about leaving them because they're poor communicators. You don't understand what they want from you. And there's a constant tension. So the first thing that leaders have to be really good at is communicating. Second, they've got to make excellent decisions. Based on the research, at least 70% of your decisions are going to be wrong over the fullness of time. That's okay. But most people don't know how to make a good decision. And most business people, 80 and 90% of the decisions they make are wrong. But as leaders, we can't afford to make a bad decision. Thirdly, I've got to keep up with myself here. Thirdly, you have to learn to delegate. You've heard me say it before, you've got to let it go to grow. You've had a boss in the past who's over-delegated and under-instructed, haven't you? They've sent you out to do a job and you failed and they blamed you. Delegation is not abdication. Just because the leader delegates it, it doesn't mean that they're not responsible for it. The leader should be selecting the right people to do the job based on science. I'll come back to that one. So we've got communication, decision-making, delegation. Leaders also need to be emotionally intelligent. According to Harvard, 95% of leaders claim to be emotionally intelligent. But the reality is only 10 to 15% are. We know who they are. Also, a leader has to be good at managing change. Change is coming at us from all different directions, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. In addition, leaders, they have to be able to set standards and goals for the people on the team. It's up to the leader to set the goals. Also, the leader needs to be excellent at building a winning team. And the truth is, you can't build an A team with B players. And those people who are B players will always hire C players beneath them. Does that make sense? You've got to be an A player, and you've got to surround yourself with other A players. Finally, a leader has to be excellent at setting the vision. You're like Moses out of the Bible. You're leaving Egypt. You're escaping slavery. You're going to cross the Red Sea. You're going to part the Red Sea for your people, and then you're going to take them to the promised land. But if you can't tell them what the promised land is, if you can't tell them how life is going to be better, how life's going to improve once you achieve that goal, they'll never follow you. And if they do and you get them to the Red Sea and they start to see all these obstacles internally and externally, and as the leader, if you can't move those obstacles to the side, they'll leave you. And the reality is that 50% of the people in the world right now are about to fire the leader. But we don't want that to happen to you. So they're the 8 key areas that leaders have to develop in. Let me recap. First of all, leaders have to be able to communicate. They've got to be able to make decisions and delegate. They've got to be emotionally intelligent. They've got to be able to manage change, set standards. They have to build a team, and they also have to visualize the future. They're the 8 areas, and today we're going to talk about building a winning team. Building a winning team requires diversity. Diversity is not always that thing between your legs. The diversity that I'm talking about is the diversity of mind. It's the diversity of talent. It's the diversity of attitude. It's the diversity of skill. And you have to be able to lead and acquire. You've got to be able to attract, retain, and keep different types of talents. Think about it from a football analogy. You can't be building a winning team if everybody's a forward. You can't build a winning team if you only have wingers. You can't have a winning team if you only have fullbacks. There's 12 different positions on a football team, and you've got to be able to fill them all. It's the same with business. There's different positions, And you need different players with different skills and talents and attitudes. So, when you see your favourite football team or any team on television, there's different positions on the field, and all of them have different skill sets. But when it comes to the mind, how do you figure it out? Well, I use a technology called DISC. And DISC analyzes people's natural talents, characteristics, and skill sets. And based on that, I can tell which people are going to work well on your team and also the people who aren't going to work well. For the past 14 years, I have profiled more than 10,000 people. I'm a psychological profiler. I profile people and I use science. It's not guesswork, it's scientific. Because when it comes to building a winning team, you can't afford just to trust your gut instinct. Your gut instinct lies. Yeah? You don't believe me? Based on the latest research, around about 15% of leaders make a hiring decision in the first 60 seconds of meeting a candidate. Imagine that. You've spent a decade building a business, you've put all of your life's resources into it, and then you decide upon a player within 60 seconds. That might be your gut instinct, but your gut lies. You have cognitive biases. You'll see somebody who looks like you, who sounds like you, who says all the right things, and your strategy goes out the window and you go, they're just like me. I want them on the team. You don't want another you on your team. You can't handle you already. You need a well-rounded team. People who bring different skills and attitudes to complement what you do best. So we trust in science. When I'm trusting in the science, have a look at what I can see. When I'm profiling people, I'm having a look at how they make decisions, how they're resistant to change. I'm looking at how they prioritize things. I'm looking at their planning and orientation, their ability to build rapport. What is their personal drive? I'm seeing how they follow instructions, how they work within a team, and how they express openness. And what you can see here from this team that I've profiled is there's some people who are similar, but there's also people who are diverse. We're not talking about diversity about that thing between your legs. We're not talking about diversity in skin colour. We're talking about diversity of mind. This is the most important thing. We get paid in business today not for manpower. We get paid for mind power. We're in the age of the mind, not the man, not the woman, the mind power. So we've got to understand what's happening inside of this person, because this is going to predict the performance of the individual. It's also going to predict the performance of your team. So let's get close. Everybody's got to make a decision. There's some people who are strategic, who are long-term thinkers, and you need these people on your team when you're building a strategy. That is really important. Does it make sense? And we've got people who are more compulsive. We've got people who we can throw the ball to and say, don't think, just act. We need those people on the team. They need to act on the strategic plan. But the person at the top here is not that person who's going to grab the ball and run. This person here is going to be the strategic thinker. This person here is going to be the black box thinker. This person's going to pull apart the strategic plan and they're going to point out to you all the things that could go wrong at the worst possible time. And then you'll go back and you will reconsider your plan. Does it make sense? This person here at 35, that's the person you want to act on your strategic plan. See, people who are great strategic planners, they're living out in the future, 3, 5, and 7 years from now. The people who are more impulsive are living in the moment. They're living in the now. They don't want to think about the future. All they want to think about is the 6 inches in front of their face. You need both on a team. You might complain about the person who acts before they think, but you'll also complain about the person who suffers paralysis via analysis. But if you want to build a winning team, you need to have both. Let's get back to the football analogy. You need forwards to break the line. You need the fullbacks to run fast. You need the wingers to secure the flank. You need them all. What about here? Change resistance. In the world today, we're experiencing a form of change fatigue. Everything in the world is changing fast. The rate of change today is 3 and 4 times as fast as it was before the pandemic. Today I woke up to news that Meta is going to fire 8,000 of their employees. And it's not because they're losing money, they're more profitable than they've ever been. But because of the introduction of AI, it's accelerating technology. The world's changing really fast. So this person here, who's high red in change resistance, this person here is probably praying every night that the world goes back to how it used to be pre-pandemic. They're probably struggling with change. And what we know, somebody who's reluctant to change, they will most likely sabotage change on the team. They'll be too slow to act. They'll be too stubborn. They're like an old bull. You put a ring through their nose and you try to pull them, but they just dig their heels in. So we know that when it comes to change resistance, we're going to have to telegraph change to this person. We're going to have to talk about change. We're going to have to prepare them for change. We're going to have to articulate the change that is coming their way so that when change comes, which it will, it won't be a surprise. So we can see that here. We know these team members right here are going to struggle with change. Pretty cool, hey? So there's 8 key areas that you have to develop as a leader. One of the most important things is building a winning team. And at least 80 to 90% of your success as a leader is going to be your ability to build a team around you. Because without scale, business fails. You can't do it all. You can't do all the prospecting, you can't do all the presenting, you can't do all the closing. You can't do all the systems, you can't do all the strategy. You will burn yourself out. You can't do 100-hour weeks forever. You've got to be able to delegate. You've got to be able to build a team. And every single business person I know, they lose sleep over the bad hires. You'll never lose sleep over a good hire. A good hire, you'll start to book holidays. A good hire, you'll start to see more money in your bank account. A good hire, your clients will start to request that they work with the good hire. True. If I'm bullshitting, call me out on it, post below. But it's the bad hires that give you grey hairs. It's bad hires that I haven't gone bald. I won't be. But it's the bad hires that cause you to lose hair. So this is how we build a winning team. We trust in science. And it's one of the 8 key areas that you need to become really good at as being a leader. And these are skills that are learned. There's no such thing as natural born leaders. Leadership is a skill. Everybody can learn to lead, including you. This year, if learning to become a better leader is on the table, if it's a goal that you've set for me, message me. I'd love to talk to you, and I'd like to show you how to build a winning team.